why wouldn't a bipartisan proposal that could potentially also pass in that body be a better way to go?
Yeah, we just don't have time to waste time. We have a couple of weeks left here. Obviously, it does require bipartisan support to get out of the Congress, but it requires a presidential signature. And this government is in place for sure for the next month. And I think the place to start is, are we actually making a law, or are we just making a point? And I think the way you make a law for sure is you've got a presidential signature. So we'll see how it goes forward. I think the one thing we all agree on, as I said, waiting till next year is not an answer. We need a targeted relief bill, including things that we can agree on.
The United States reached 2,000 deaths per day. Tens of millions of Americans are going hungry this Thanksgiving. Unemployment benefits ran out months ago for some. Others, the extensions will run out next month. Congress has completely failed to do anything in recent months. So will you help struggling Americans before Congress adjourns this year?
Well, I hope so. I've been one of the major advocates that we need to do this. We need to do this now. We need to continue the funding for the vaccine, the delivery of the vaccine. We need to stabilize, though, through that the payroll protection effort that worked so well. Direct money to struggling families would be helpful, and some extension of unemployment. But the problem was that our friends on the other side of the building thought that it was $2.4 trillion or nothing. Half of that would have made a big difference, and then after the first of the year we could have dealt with this again. I think it's a huge failure on the part of the Congress, and I'm disappointed by it. The president was prepared to sign almost any size bill. I think they didn't want to give him that bill before the election, and now we can't seem to figure out how to give it to him after the election.
But you think now there will be a compromise and people will get the help they need?
Well, I don't know that there will. I'm certainly working hard to make that happen. And, Admiral Giroir talked earlier about what we've done with testing, what we've done with vaccines. We've really written 2 new big chapters in how to respond to a pandemic. Something he said I think maybe wasn't quite noticed. He said that there was 70 million point of service tests produced in October. There were another 70 million that were kind of overnight tests. That's more tests than Americans had taken the entire time up until October 1. So we've had this great surge in availability of testing. Now we need to get people to take the test. And the vaccines are going to be available a year quicker than anybody anticipated. And hopefully people most impacted get those vaccines first, then essential workers who come into contact with most people with people get it second, and by then you're into late March, and maybe 50% of the whole population that wanted to get a vaccine had access to that vaccine. And that's how we work through this. A great effort on the part of the Congress and the administration to write these 2 new chapters and how you respond to a pandemic.